Welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with Mr. Callum.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here.
So, Callum, tell me a little bit about yourself, and if you want, what do you do professionally?
Well, my name's Callum Schofield. I'm from Wales, which is in the UK. Professionally, I really host a podcast. That's what I do. I'm trying to make a name. I'm currently unemployed. So that's basically a posh way of saying I'm unemployed by calling myself a podcast host.
I don't want to shoot down hopes, but podcasting is just so difficult to get a job in. Like I would love to do this as much as you probably do as just a job, but I know this is like, I'm no Joe Rogan. I'm no guy that's ever going to get to that spot. It's so difficult because there's thousands and thousands of them out there. I think the main thing for me, like, it's a form of therapy, man. Like doing it, having fun with it, being yourself, or just creating a show and getting to whatever content you want to create, movies, comedy. What's your podcast about?
Well, the Schofield stories, it's sort of gone through quite a few changes. I don't know if you can tell, but I grew up and I got a stutter. I grew up with quite a severe stutter. So I started off with Schofield Stories as a stuttering related podcast to raise awareness, interview people who've been through similar stuff to me. Then it turned just to a general interview podcast because I got a bit more confident. Then I thought, what can I do? What message do I want? What theme can I do? So now it's a podcast focusing on masculinity and mental health. The tagline is unmasking masculinity and mental health. And that's really what I'm going for with my up-and-coming season, which is going to be launched on the 12th of July.
Well, these aren't live, so this might be before July or might after be July. We don't know yet. But when it comes to masculinity, what do you mean exactly? Like, are we talking? I mean, I work at a gym, so I know what masculinity is when you're talking about. I've seen two things. One, I've worked out every day for 8 years, and I've never, ever seen a naked old man. But then I moved to this new gym, and my first day was the first time I saw a old man penis. So I would call that masculine. But also it's filled with people with like giant muscles, major testosterone. You can literally smell it in the air. That's masculine. Now, what are you trying to unmask about it? Is it the fact that most men don't ever really want to share their feelings?
Yeah, it's really that there's still a stigma and a burden around masculinity and mental health. A lot of men, including myself, feel like emotions and struggles, you don't want to open up about them. As I've had times when I've getting, say, anxious or worried, and I think, man up, what are you doing? And it shouldn't be like that. So I'm trying to sort of strike the stigma surrounding men and men struggling with mental health.
What conflicts do you feel like you struggle with mental wise?
Probably anxieties. I had quite a lot. Well, I still do have quite a lot of self-doubt about myself. That's a common demon. Self-doubt has been a massive problem for me. And that's, impacted on careers, relationships, and just so on. I'm getting a lot better now. I'm really starting to grow. I've worked on my personal development for the last year, and that's really made a difference. But, you can't just say you're done with mental health. Like all the personal development stuff I do, you still have days, but everyone still has days when they relapse, when they drop. So it's always still a problem. And I'm sort of learning on my journey as well.
You can do as many therapy sessions as you want. You're never going to overcome. Like if you want to talk about having your dark days or something, I mean, I experience those too. I'll have a day where I'll give a full on rant of motivationalness, but then at the same time, I'm also dealing with so many other things that are going on inside of my head. I just found an outlet for it. I was doing the gym, then COVID happened and everything got shut down. And I had to really look inside of myself on how to fix what was going on. And yeah, I mean, it's a big problem with kids our age, especially like you're in your 20s, right?
I'm 19.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm 22, so I'm only a couple of years older than you, but it's kids our age that are experiencing a wide variety of mental health disorders, I would say, or just mental health issues. And I think the problem is everyone's like, oh, I think it's because it's so popular now, because now it's more known. Now we know how to treat it. Everyone's getting diagnosed with it. It's like, not really. It's more on the fact of, I think technology and the way we've gone with the world has completely ruined all these kids that are coming up, because before you could handle your own problems. Then you could handle your family's problems. Then you could handle a friend's problems. Now you're handling the whole world's problems because you have access to the internet. And that becomes a little bit difficult. Like, I mean, I definitely think this podcast for me has definitely aged me beyond my years. From the first start of this, where I was talking about shitting in different rooms. My buddy worked HVAC. I worked at a hotel. So it was like, where's the best place to take a shit? Like that whole thing. So where I'm in this flow and just trying to actually get a good conversation with someone, but it also gets deep sometimes too, because I mean, I have thoughts every single day. I'm having thoughts right now while I'm talking to you, just on the fact of like, it's about the goalposts, the ending point. Like we're talking, like you kind of mentioned earlier, the fact of me and you, exactly. I'm obviously talking about myself too. We want to get somewhere. We don't know how to get there, but we think we're on the right track, and we want it now. We can't wait till that 10, 20 years. I'm already thinking about like, what the fuck am I going to be at 22? I don't have really anything. And that's hard for a lot of people to think about every single day. And most people give the advice of just wait till you're 30. You'll figure it out. Wait till you're 35. What the you never know if you're going to figure it out. And people act like, I don't know. I just like, there's some conditions. I've heard the craziest stories. I've watched people with the worst kind of lives growing up. And then, they come out without any mental health issues, but they're strong in certain areas. And I'm like, that's experience. I was bullied really bad. It's how most people end up getting pretty strong and end up going into something. I got bullied for being overweight as a kid and joined the gym. Found my outlet and my stress release there. But I feel like for a lot of people, mental health right now, it's just gonna keep increasing and increasing and increasing. And I don't know what there is to do to stop it besides just having conversation again. I feel like that's a giant hole that we're all missing in our lives right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And your point about the whole world is bang on. You open up social media and you've got everyone's problems, people you don't know, the world. And it can be quite a hard place sometimes, just scrolling through Twitter, seeing all the negative comments, as little as someone moaning to as big as what's actually going on in the world. And that can really impact you. If you're someone who is quite worried naturally and sensitive, then that will worry you. It really will. And you sometimes feel stupid to worry about something that's going on. For example, in another country, you think, why am I worrying about this? And that's just how it grows. With little things like that, plant the seed. And that's why these conversations are so important. As a little story, I remember when I was in college 2 years ago, one of my male friends came into a lesson and he was literally in tears. His mental health was in tatters. He sat down next to me and my other mate, and we both looked at each other like, what the fuck do we do? We had no idea what to do, because it's like, if it was a girl, if it was one of my female friends who came in crying, I would have probably comforted her and made sure she was okay. But when one of my male friends came in crying and really upset, I had no idea what to do. I kind of thought, what the fuck am I meant to do with this? And that's, no disrespect to him at all, but it's the way the world is, that I had no idea what to do. And that sort of sparked the idea, right, something needs to change with mental health.
Well, what would you say the fix would be here? I mean, having conversations is good and all, but there's a key point. The thing is, the way we're trying to fix it with all these programs, all these ways of talking about it or doing all these things, that's good and all. But the problem's not going to be erased, because there's points in our society that are recreating the same thing over and over and over again. I always talk about a person's soul or a person's mentality is kind of like a glass of a window. And every day you experience a little crack in that glass. And then you go to sleep. You don't address the crack. You don't get to fix it. You need to talk about it to keep it clean, to keep it, solid. Eventually, you're going home after a long day. We all just want to go to bed and go to sleep and don't really talk about it. We want to forget our day. That crack doesn't go away. You're putting a Band-Aid on top of it. Next thing you know, the next day, and the next day, that glass looks pretty fucking cracked. And then next thing you know, something happens like, oh, they didn't have your favorite type of cereal in the cereal aisle, and you're just screaming and cussing in the middle of the store, having an insane breakdown. And I'm like, it's pretty interesting because, like, you can go to a therapist, you can talk it out, but you can really self-analyze everything that's going on in your life. And I think a lot of people noticed that during COVID, was like, holy shit, I've spent 30 years working for a company and now I have nothing for myself. I built up all this and I played it safe. What about taking a risk? But taking a risk in this society is either really, really rewarded or it's really, really punished. What I mean by that is the small scale chance that you're actually going to be able to hit that mark and get to what you want to do when you take that risk is so minuscule compared to what it is if you could lose everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to be realistic about things. We can't say, oh, take the chance, take the risk, it'll work, you'll be successful, you'll be this and that. As you said, we've got to be realistic. We've got to say that there's a massive chance that you won't achieve what you want. But you have to acknowledge that. You can't just ignore it. You can't just think, well, because I might not achieve, I'm going to focus on that, because that is how the downward spiral starts, by having these doubts, these second thoughts. So you need to acknowledge it, but you can't let that doubt control you. If you want something, you've still got to strive to achieve it. And if you get knocked back, it's about how you respond. It really is. So just a quick question for you. What's your plans moving forward? Like, have you got any risks that you want to take, or perhaps you haven't took in the past?
This is a question you ask your guests.
Well, sometimes, but it's just
I like it because
it
I'm
came into
always
my head.
the one doing like the major questions. I love this. What's one risk? Okay, that's a good question. I don't know if I have anything really. I feel like I'm barely maintaining as it is. You know what I mean? I have a lot
Yeah.
of things that I've discovered about myself during the COVID situation. I recently found out I have a severe spinal issue in January. I don't like going into it because I feel like the world's already got so much to deal with. A listener doesn't need to hear me complain about some problem.
Yeah.
So, plus, it's a fact of, I think what most people is or want is just wanting to be remembered or wanting to have a spot. And I think that's, for a lot of people that want to be like, I want to be this number one. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be top. I want to make this. That's what it is. It's the whole fact of you want to feel like you're doing what you love and you found a thing for it. The reason why I never got a job at a gym was because you don't mix business with pleasure. You hear it
Yeah.
usually ends up pretty bad. It might start off fun at first, but you start to notice, like I'm starting to notice, like, damn, like I already work here. I don't feel like really working out. It hits a point. But I think, I same thing. I'm more of this mindless state of just trying to maintain because, like we said, with mental health, that's just too fucking hard sometimes. You have a plot in your head right now of what you want to do. You want to turn this podcasting thing into a career. But the fact is, how are you going to be able to maintain and keep your content going, keep it, keep the motivation to do it? Because like those days where you don't have those good moments or that motivation to hit the record button, you got to see past that too. How do you maintain?
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I love what I do with podcasting, but I know it can't be everything. It can't be my everything. As I'm going to university, hopefully in a couple of months, to study counselling, to sort of build myself up as a counsellor and life coach. It was something I never planned to do, but I had, well, this past year, this past 12 months, I've had off for personal development because a year ago, I was not ready for anything. I couldn't even say my name without stuttering. I couldn't say my address. I couldn't say anything. So I needed this year to sort of get my shit together. And it just so happens that starting a podcast was part of that. I'm working on a few other personal projects that
Porn.
not so much go alongside the podcast, but maybe in the future they could. I'm not going to go into them as much, but it's still early days. I'm just working on them.
Are
But
you making porn?
I'm not. No,
That's the
strangely
best way
enough.
you could give happiness to somebody. Making porn, everybody loves that shit. Like, I look at porn stars as heroes. They're doing the things on camera that nobody else will do, or they do in private, and they're giving you some enjoyment out of life. Even though you're probably not paying attention to their face or anything, you're more paying attention to what they're doing. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got the body for that, but I don't know. Maybe if I
Dude, if Ron
hit the
Jeremy
gym.
can be a porn star, you can be a porn star. That man, good God. I don't think anybody was worried about his body in any of those films.
That is a fair point. Let me recover, as I've currently got a broken collarbone. But once that's all recovered, I'll try and get into a little bit more shape.
How did you break your collarbone?
Well, after self-isolating for 3 months, I finally went out with my mates. We went out on our bikes, just, 30-mile bike ride, coming down a hill too fast. Bang, broken collarbone. The first time I left my house in about 3-4 months, I ended up with a broken collarbone.
I would have loved to be like the person on the side of the street, like, that's why you stay in the house, motherfucker. Like, like that whole thing. Like, damn, the one time I try and get some fresh air to be locked inside for so long, I ended up breaking my collarbone. It's a good one. I like that.
It makes life difficult. Like, even with podcasting, I'm sending emails with my left. I'm typing things out left-handed, and everything takes 5 minutes longer than it needs to, and it's just typical. Now that I don't know about you, but over here in the UK, things are starting to get back to a bit more normality, and I'm going to be stuck in for another month at least. But not just stuck in and handicapped, which is shit.
Yeah. I try and look at, like, someone always mentions something, like, if you're having a bad day, they go, well, you could have been born without legs. You see those things on Snapchat where it's like Weird Life or something, and it's like a small woman who only has like a hand and a head, and she's doing all these things. And I'm like, how the fuck is she so happy? And I'm completely miserable. Like, I can still use my legs. I mean, I have a friend that's paralyzed, and he's always like, but can you use your legs? Can you use your legs? I'm like, I can. He goes, then why are you upset? I'm like, I don't know, man, because my brain is mentally handicapped. I'm dealing with millions of different things at once. And he goes, you can't focus on that. You got to focus on the realness of it. Like, I've had a podcast I never released because I used to do these in person, and my buddy came over to my house, and he was just about to have a kid. So he was very, very overwhelmed with the situation that was going on. And I listened to it sometimes because I was just like, it's about snapping into those real moments. I mean, I literally just got back from a doctor's appointment. And, on my way back, I've seen 3 people scream and do some crazy stuff in public, 2 in cars and then 1 at an actual store. And I'm like, we're this fucking tense as people. Like, I don't understand. Like, you talk about counseling. I think it starts when you're a kid. I think we're around it so damn much because you see a little child in a store. Most of the time they're pretty nice. Like, most of the time they're pretty happy. They're not really caring about life. I guess ignorance is bliss, I would say. But then once you get older, there's a point, like, in that, that growing up where it's like, fuck, the world just comes at you full force, and you end up just not liking it at all. You just don't want to talk to people. You don't want to do anything. I see my little cousin on his phone half the time, and I'm like, hang on a second. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't fucking hit the back of my heel with that shopping cart. Don't do it, or I'm going to freak out. And it's like, there's moments being missed. There's no more family dinners happening anymore. And now that I look back at those I used to have as a kid, sitting at out at Applebee's or something with my family, I miss those the most. Like, I'm like, holy shit, these are key moments that, when you grow up, you look back on. Like, you want to make memories and things. So when you do get older, you have good moments to look back on, but also don't forget that you still need to live in the present and make good memories still, not just drink. I mean, I know so many people that are in their 30s or 40s that have just drank their 20s away. I'm like, that's how you fucking dealt with depression. You drank. Like, it's what about the people that don't want to do that? What about the people, there's an issue. And I think when you say unmasking masculinity and unmasking kind of mental health in a way, kind of talking about it, what do you try and do with your guests? How do you typically try and, bring up these topics? Because a lot of this stuff is not as open as me and you will be about it. It's pretty severe.
Yeah, it all depends on the guest, really. It all depends on the guest. Sometimes it can work just having a known face sharing his experiences, not necessarily using the words mental health, depression, anxiety, whatever, but just sharing his stories of hardship and how he's overcome them despite the odds. Just for someone, an inspirational story like that might work. For other people, we go into detail about mental health if they're willing to share personal stories, personal little antidotes, then even better. So it all depends on the guest. But so the heart of the Schofield stories is for people to share their stories. Otherwise, well, that's false advertising. So it literally depends on the guest. Like, as long as they got some story to tell, I'm not that bothered about how deep into mental health they go, because I know that people will take inspiration from these stories of hardship and these inspiring guests that I choose for a reason. Everyone who I've invited on the show and I'm due to record with, they offer not me some. They offer me something. I learn a lot from every episode, but they have something to offer to everyone, to my listeners, and that's why I handpick them to come on the show.
I think it's a point of just letting people know, because there's so many people out there that are like, nobody knows what I'm experiencing. Nobody knows this. Nobody knows that. I'm like, I think when you do your show and you have your guests on, it's a point of letting people know, like, oh no, there is people that are experiencing the exact same thing. And sometimes talking to them about it, they might have found a way to get over it that somebody listening is going to hear and be like, holy shit, let me try that. I'm going to do that. See if I can get over it that way. I mean, I've heard things from drug trips to just everyday troubles to just starting a businesses and doing all these other types of things. And I'm like, wow, like, there's going to be people out there that are listening and they'll send you a message and be like, thank you for that episode. And it's like, whoa, like, glad you're fucking listening and sorry if I bored you for too long.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Have you had any guests on which actually leave you speechless? Because, in a good way or a bad way, when you literally think, what the fuck are they talking about? In, the good or bad way.
Yeah, I've had, I think every single one has probably left me speechless. I think it's
Oh, wow.
mostly about the fact of, like, you start to notice, like, for me, I reach out to a lot of people a day because I record and always post an episode every day. So I'm constantly getting the negative no's or people wondering, are you going to pick on me? Probably same thing you thought. Like, why is this person inviting me on their podcast? It's always that. And it's like, no,
True.
I'm just literally trying to be in an actual conversation. If you want to talk about fucking aliens, let's go to aliens. It's just the world. It's brought people to a point where they want to self-isolate long before actually we had to self-isolate. And then once we were forced to do that, we started realizing, I miss people. And now we're at this weird stage. Like, it's not Republican or Democrats anymore. It's freaking masked or unmasked. Like, I mean, at my work the other day, an old woman came in, probably never worked out in her entire life. And we all have those moments where it's like this, like someone pisses you off so bad you just want to, like, in your head you're like, okay, and then like push them down a flight of stairs or something. Well, she's coming in, she broke 3 different things that was used to clean the machines, and I was like, okay, calm it down, like, I was just like, all right, yep, sorry, I'll fix it, don't worry about it. And she's like, there's people in here who aren't wearing masks. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I've asked them to. I can't just force them to pull up a mask, mostly because they're 10 sizes bigger than me. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's like, that's against human rights. I can ask them to leave, but then the same thing, it's going to get cops involved. I just thought you should be aware. I'm like, no, you just really wanted to talk. That's all it really ever is. Like, somebody starts giving you a speech or a story or complaining about something. It's like, you just want to hear yourself fucking think, like, just talk. Like, nobody calls you anymore. It's like a grandma that's like locked away for 80 years. She wants contact. Like, you're a real person? I'm like, yes, but don't give me all your shit because I can't even handle my own. Like, holy crap.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know the feeling, as I used to work at McDonald's for 2 years. And, you are a human punch bag sometimes. You literally are, just for everyone's problems. Even if it's not a problem, they will see me standing there. They will see my little name tag. They'll see Callum and think, I'm going to bully him today. And they will just find any problem they can with life or with McDonald's to tell me. And you notice that when people came around the drive-thru, for example, on their own, some of them would be more willing just to talk and moan at you, even if they were moaning about something completely unrelated. And you can tell that they just needed that someone or wanted that someone to talk to. And I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it is really interesting how people tend to seek out someone to moan to. Like, you won't seek out someone to just say good morning to, or seek out someone to have a positive conversation with. And when you think about that, that's quite sad, really.
I seek out somebody. I have my buddy. I wake him up with a poop picture every morning when I do go.
Whatever works for you.
He's always like, why? Stop sending me your shit. Literally. I'm like, but I want you to know I'm healthy. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm still alive. He's like, I get it, but Jesus, man. That's not art. That is a disaster. I'm like, yeah, probably dying, but slowly. I have one question for you on the McDonald's thing. Why the fuck is the ice cream machine always broken? Is it a laziness factor? Don't give me the I don't know. You know.
No, when I worked there, it was hardly ever broken. Literally, I worked about 5 or 6 shifts a week, and it was nearly, I was like 90% of the time working. Then it was less than that. The 80% of the time it was working, but it just so happened that the 20% of the time it wasn't working or it was cleaning was when every single person wanted an ice cream and a milkshake. But
that makes sense though, because like, I get it. Before McDonald's served breakfast all day, which I think they need to not do that. I know so many people are going to hear that. They're like, what? But it's awesome. I'm like, yeah, but you're supposed to get your ass up before 10 a.m. to eat fucking breakfast, not wait or, get it in the afternoon at like 2 a.m. or even in like, let's say like 7 in the afternoon. Your mom's not going to make you fucking breakfast for dinner. Rarely she does if she's in a good mood or something. So why the fuck would some random stranger give you a McGriddle at 9 p.m.? Like, it does not make any sense to me. It's entitlement.
No, well, like, I'm lucky, but in the UK, we stopped serving breakfast at 11 a.m. and that's it. No more breakfast until the following morning at 5 a.m. And, you always get the people who come around at 1 minute past 11 asking for pancakes and then get very angry when I tell them no. But it is what it is, really. It literally is what it is. And that's what people don't realize, that the machines, like the milkshake machine, the ice cream machine, they get cleaned every day.
Who fuck breaks it then?
Well, to be fair,
is it lazy? Is it lazy? Just tell me. I mean, I'm 100% okay with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm an open book.
That's the same thing with me. I'm literally just like, I don't know. I can't help you here. And then they end up walking away. Like, I have people that ask me a million questions at work, and I'm like trying to answer to the best of my ability. And then eventually I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't know that information. You can come back in tomorrow and we can get somebody else on the case. Cause I'm still, it's my second day and you're asking me to do a thing I don't know how to do. So I'm going to have to ask you to please leave me alone. Let me crawl into my hole.
I know the feeling. I know it it's easier just to lie than tell the truth. It's easier to lie to a customer and tell them that everything's broken and they can only have chips or fries, I should say, for you.
We can only have salads. That's what it is.
That's what I should have told them. But when someone's
fuck off, that would kill so many people in line. Everybody be like, oh, they only got salads. You just see the whole thing, just every card just go away.
I'd be tempted to do that sometimes, especially when I don't know about you working in a gym, but the amount of death threats I got from working in McDonald's is unreal. They don't tell you that in training.
I've seen the videos on Facebook of people like tossing shit through the window, like on drugs, like screaming. Someone pulled a gun out down here at a Chick-fil-A drive-through because it was like over like driving, just, I don't know, some car in front of them. The woman just got out and pointed a gun right at the woman behind her. And I'm like, really? We're at fucking Chick-fil-A. And I don't think they're going to say my pleasure afterwards. It's just not going to happen.
They put it. Why would someone? I don't understand. I don't understand people in general, especially Americans. And no offense to you, but I don't.
It's not just America though. Like that's the weird part about it. Like Australia, everyone always looks at America like this speckled. Like, why do you guys do this? And it's like it's everywhere, but ours is just so fucking broadcasted everywhere. I swear to God, I've heard the strangest shit in Australia. Heard this some crazy stuff in the UK that I would never even think. It's not really fighting over a chicken sandwich. It's more about fighting over like I don't want to say tea, but more like you guys call it, I think it's biscuits. It's like supposed to be chips or some type of thing you dip in your drink or something. I didn't know that was a thing until recently.
Oh yeah, that's a
But
big thing.
yeah, see, like it's just wherever you're from, like you're gonna find conflict everywhere. But I think the craziest thing about it is the way that where we're from also kind of stylizes it in a way. Like America, like everything's, it's all kind of goes to food with England or something. It all kind of links in with like the weather kind of creates this depression cloud. Like, oh, I can't fucking go outside today and do what I want to do because it's groggy out or it's rainy out. It's like that doesn't popularize good mental health. When it's sunny out, you're like, oh, it's going to be a great day. And then when it's like rainy, some people love the rain, but most of the time it's just like, wow, I'm just going to stay inside all day. And that doesn't fucking help at all.
No, it doesn't. And when you live where I do in the UK, it rains. It's stereotyped that in Wales, in the UK, it rains all the time. It doesn't. But obviously, when anyone from anywhere else comes to Wales, it rains. So then they assume it does. But it doesn't help because the rain is an excuse for people to not do things. If they're looking to put something off or looking to avoid something, raining is like the perfect excuse of why you can avoid something. So that's why I think it sort of has that effect on mental health. But if it's nice weather, they think, oh, I've kind of got to do this. You've got less leeway to make excuses in my eyes anyway.
What's your craziest McDonald's story?
Once we had a very bad Friday night, rough Friday night, full of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. I mean, about 30 or 40 of them. Me and my manager on our own. I had to chuck them out. I was standing on the door. I was a bouncer for the night. I spent a good few hours standing on the door in a star shape, blocking the door from about 30 12-year-olds. Along came some of the rougher ones, started telling me they're going to stab me, they're going to shank me, all this and that, trying to push past all this and that. I had to lock myself in, press the alarm, I had the police down. That was weird because
they're fucking 12.
No one else was doing it.
They're 12 or 13. You had to call the cops on them? What happened at their home? That's where my thoughts go. What happened at your house like you ever run into like your friends when you're growing up and they're like little, like, you're all little kids or something. And the one guy's like, yo, so have you ever had sex? And it's like, what happened at your house that made you already know about this? And you looked at them with such wisdom and amusement, like, oh, you could tell he's a bad boy. And it's like, you see a kid with like his first tattoo at the age of like 14. You're like, he's a bad boy. Yeah. It's like, what happened at your fucking house that got you there?
I know, like when I've got someone who's half my height coming up saying, I'm going to stab you, I'm going to shank you, you better watch your back when you go home. And to be fair to him, he semi-followed through, but he did follow me to my car. And then he followed me, when I drove out. Fair play to him for waiting till the end of my 8-hour shift to follow me. But at the end of the day, he is half my size. And I'm in a car, he's on a scooter. Who's going to win?
What did you do to him, though? Why was he that pissed off just because you didn't let him inside?
Yes, because I chucked him out and didn't serve him.
Oh, you chucked him out. That's probably what it was then.
I probably called him something as well when no one else was listening. Because when it's just me on the door and someone calls me something, then I'm going to call them back.
That's
as long as no one hear me.
That's how I feel about Instagram and Twitter. Whenever somebody says something, I'm just going to be like, I wish you would say that to my face. Or I wish I could find where your address is and just show up and be like, how you doing? And then, end up doing like the scene from Jay and Silent Bob where they just start beating all the people up that were talking trash on them. It's like, I think that's a problem with the screen thing. And then I also think that gets brought into real life when somebody starts going and saying a bunch of things and not realizing who they're saying it to. And then somebody just snaps. I always used to think like, imagine if somebody had a knife Imagine if somebody has a gun. You don't know. Next thing you know, you're in a very, very scared position with shit in your pants because somebody is holding a gun straight at your head because you couldn't get a chicken sandwich. That's what America is about. God damn it.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. I've never had anything that extreme. We've had people set fire. I should have a bit more. I had people try and set fire to tables and stuff like that, but no knives or I got threatened to get stabbed, but with the exception of the people who were snorting sugar and salt.
I fucking did that one. Don't even talk shit on those people. I did it as a dare. I snorted salt and
of course you
freaking
did.
Whatever you call it. Blood started coming out of my nose. I was like, that freaking hurt. My buddy's like, dude, that was sick. Do it again. And then you do another one.
Yeah, but fair enough. But when it's a family restaurant, I went over, took the salt off them, so then they decided to start setting fire to the table.
Where's your parents? Where's your parents?
These are kids.
Boy?
These are literally kids.
Do you ever try and incorporate maybe some good things to add to society? What I mean by that is like when you're out in public, do you ever try and cheer somebody up, like go out of your way a little bit? Like I always like the people that pay it forward, but I also like if somebody looks like they're having a wrong day or something, I'll usually crack a joke or I'll say something to them in public that'll kind of make them smile. Like I watched I think it's a lot about, we talk about fast pacedness in the beginning about trying to get to that end goal quicker. Than rather waiting for that long payoff, I would say, because it's just too hard. It feels like the wait's just too much. It's never going to come. There was a woman, probably blonde, 30s. I mean, she's obviously probably a new mom or something, but it was her and I guess maybe her sister or friend. They look exactly like basically Starbucks girls is what I call them. They look exactly like someone that would order Starbucks. And it all was happening over Panera. I don't know if you know what Panera bread is. It's like this. It's like the Starbucks, but a restaurant kind of.
All right. Yeah.
So, we're sitting at this place called Dollar Tree. Everything's $1. If you have $20, you're a rich man. It's basically poor people shop. You just literally take your hand, go up all on the shelves and just dump it all in your cart with $20. But, there's an older woman that was off to the side stocking stuff. And this one woman just like ran past me in line, started standing there, tapped the bell a couple of times to wait for the person to come up to the cash register. And then she's sitting like, oh my God, I'm be late for my order. Come on, seriously, like, hello. And I'm just sitting there looking at her like, really? Like, you want to say something? And I'm the type of person that I will say something. I'm like, hey, why don't you just wait? And then she just looked at me and just rolled her eyes and waited till the woman got up there. And she goes, you should really stay by your station, and then walked out. And I just looked at the woman that was sitting there, and she's an elderly lady, probably didn't get her retirement because, I mean, the fact is retirement back in the day could easily pay for the rest of your bills. Now you need to work 2 jobs to be able to even do that. So you see a lot of elderly people working a second job. So I was talking to her. I was like, I'm sorry that happened. I apologize for her actions. I hope you're doing okay. She goes, yeah, I'm going to get your money right now. And she's like, handing me my change. And I'm like, take your time. Seriously. Like, I'm in no rush. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And then I just walk out. But it's like, imagine being someone like that. Like, would you curse at your grandma for not being quick enough? No. Then why the fuck are people doing it to people that, that's somebody's grandma? Like, it just, in my mind, when people do that, I wonder, like, what is going on in your life that you are forgetting what being human is? Like, when people open up a door for you, like, I'll open up a door for somebody. They won't say thank you. They'll just walk right in. I'll be like, you're welcome. And they'll turn around and be like, what? Like, assaulted with words. I'm like, you say thank you. That's all you do. And I'll just stare at them. I'm like, yeah, I'm that asshole. Because have your fucking manners, or everyone's going to be the same way all the time, and you forget what being human is.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. It's just stripping things back to basics, I think. Just, like you said, basic manners. And I'm someone who I'll always try to look for the best. I try to cheer people up, this and that. It's similar to what you were saying. There's been times when I've been in shops or garages, whatever, and if I'm ordering or paying, I'll just make a little bit of conversation. I'll just say, how's it been today? Has it been busy? How are you? Late shift, early shift, whatever. And just having that little 2-minute conversation makes them happy, makes me happy, because I like putting myself in speaking situations. I enjoy it. I like just talking to people. And it's
Did
just
you hold on?
doing
I have a quick
little
question on that
things.
one. Did you have to develop that because, like you mentioned before, the stutter? Like, does it ever get difficult to try and want to be in speaking positions? I feel like that would be the opposite of what you'd want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A year ago, I would avoid every single speaking situation under the sun. And I mean, literally, if I was eating out in a restaurant, I would time a toilet break the minute that the waiter or waitress came over to serve us. So I wouldn't have to order. I would never do any speaking situation at all. You know, I was very shy. I was very kept myself to myself. So overcoming my stutter, controlling it, last September was I went on this course and that sort of changed my life. It really did. And since then, I'm really seeking out speaking situations because it's a challenge for me as well. Just going that little bit further as just ordering something or interacting with a stranger, for example, on the street, in a shop, wherever, over the phone. That would have been something I would have never dreamt of doing, or I would have done with a lot of dread and fear. But now I look for things like that. I put myself in those situations. Like a few weeks ago, as an exercise, I spent an hour just calling random numbers, literally just dialing random mobile numbers, calling people and wishing them a good day. I just literally said, hello, I'm Callum Schofield. I just want to hope that you're doing well, you're staying safe, and I wish you all the best. Have a good day.
Wish I
And
got one of those phone calls. I always get the one that's like, "Hello, we're here to talk about your auto insurance. Would you like to buy this cable package or look for a provider in the area?" Or I get the one that's always the worst. It's always when I'm doing something like bringing in groceries or taking a shit. I'll get a call that's like, "Hello, is this Janine?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, maybe you can help me." I'm like, "If you're looking for fucking Janine, I don't have tits like that. I guarantee to you for a fact that I'm not going to be able to help you." You know, it's like that type of
yeah,
stuff.
I know what you mean, but it's just little things like that. I know as it helps me. It really does help me doing anything like that. Any speaking situation now helps me. For example, just podcasting. You know, if you said to me, even a couple of months ago, do you want to come on this podcast? It's not scripted. There's no planning. Just come on and talk. I'd be like, are you fucking mad? Do you
I would,
really think I'm going to do that?
I would think that would be the easiest for you, just because you wouldn't have to read like anything like script wise, like or are you talking about you have to probably practice saying those words?
Yeah, well, it depends. Like sometimes off the cuff, I was fine. And if it came to reading things out like word for word, I would struggle. So I would struggle completely off the cuff and I would struggle with reading things out. So if I had a little bit of a plan in my head, you know, a little bit of prep, then I would have been okay. But now I've got confidence in myself that I can talk really and I can make conversation. I can ask questions, just see where things go. I got confident in my abilities, which I didn't have for 18 years.
See, you know what I would do to help you with that though?
What's that?
Not only by making you comfortable, but I would also, when I edit the podcast, which I don't really do a whole lot of editing. If anything, it's like if we're talking over each other or something, I'll end up trying to like minimize whoever the person's really trying to talk is. But I used to you know, I won't mention the guy's name and I won't mention the episode number, but a couple hundred episodes back, there was a person in there that would pause and it would be like a 5-minute pause before his next word. It was like a good 2.5 hour podcast that got cut down to 45 minutes because I took
Wow.
out all of his pauses, everything. I made it flow so naturally. And before it even, like I was about to post it, he said, please don't, like, I'm not comfortable with it. I don't want it to be posted. I didn't like it or whatever. It's not, he's like, you did great. It was fun conversation, but I just don't, I don't know how to talk well. I have social anxiety. And I said, let me send you the final and then you listen to it. And he listened to it and he's like, dude, thank you. This is awesome. I'm going to share this with my family. And I'm like, can I post it? He said, yes. And I ended up posting it. But I look at that. I'm like, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to make you have, I just literally am here for a genuine chat. And I think that's what's needed in the world, being genuine. You mentioned you had a stutter problem and you worked so hard. Now you put yourself in situations to fix that. I have an ego problem. I hate being complimented. I tell people when they do compliment me, stop complimenting me because it feeds that little fucker. And I think that's the worst thing is once you start feeling like, you know, you're perfect, you're the best, you're this, you're that, you're this and that, you stop trying so freaking hard. And then that just becomes, a mindless of I'm fine where I'm at. I don't need to go any farther. I'm like, go farther. Let's see how far we can really push the envelope. And honestly, don't give a shit about what people think of you. It's hard to say. It's even harder to do. But I want that sweatpants confidence, dude, where you walk right into a store with sweatpants on, like shirtless or
Oh
something,
yeah.
and just be like, yeah, I don't care what people think of me. It's like, why do we care so much? It's because we base society on looks, judgments constantly. You know, you hear songs on the radio that are like, I got 5 different pandas and 4 different cheetahs. It's like, I don't even own one fucking panda. Definitely don't own a cheetah. I'm not Tiger King. And then it's like, oh, it's anxieties.
Yeah, I know but what I did to combat that and to stop caring about what people think, I did it last month before. I did a month of comfort zone challenges, which is basically every day I would do something out of my comfort zone. I say a month, I miscounted and only did about 25 because I can't count. I meant to do 30, 31, whatever it was. But every day I would do something out of my comfort zone. For example, I would read live on Instagram. I would read live on Facebook. I would write an open letter to someone in my family or a friend who we don't really talk openly that much. There's a video on YouTube of me singing very badly because, just doing stuff like that because
What's the link to the video?
Look for CS Life of Mind Coaching on YouTube, and it's the most viewed video.
What song is it?
The first one is is a song by ABBA, Dancing Queen, and the second one is Read All About It, which is Emily Sandé and Professor Green.
How did you not choose fucking Katy Perry? How did you? If anybody's singing on Instagram, it needs to be Katy Perry. Baby, you're a firework. That song freaking gets me
I
pumped.
should have, but I didn't choose. I left it up to 2 of my mates to choose a song each. And it literally, that helped me so much. It's stupid. It's a bit of fun. It's a laugh. But I was always someone who cared way too much about what people thought. I would never do anything out of line. I would always make sure I had the best branded clothes. I looked the best. I would never do anything which would make me look weak or inferior. So I was living my life around being accepted and people liking me and thinking this. So just to let your guard down and sing really badly and practically embarrass yourself on the internet, that's good. It was a bit like, why the fuck am I doing this at the time? But it's really good and I enjoyed it. And it's just doing comfort zone challenges that really helped me. That really, I can't really word it exactly, but it really made me feel a lot better about myself, and I had fun with it. I did stuff that I never thought I could do.
You know who the Temptations are?
What's that?
The Temptations, like the band Temptations.
I've heard of them, yeah.
You know the song Sunshine?
Yeah, I think so.
I've got sunshine on a. Come on.
I don't know that well.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Well, hold on. Well, now I gotta think of a song.
You gotta think of a new song.
All right. What about the wheels on the bus go
round and round, round and round, round and round?
That's the only lyrics I know to that song. I don't know how the rest of it goes, and I only know the one song, "She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes," and it's just over and over again, right? Or does it go farther?
I don't know. Isn't it I yippee yippee yay? But then that's about it. Singing yippee,
I don't think that one's right. I just know.
Am I making that up? I don't know.
Have you ever heard the song "Hey Ya" by Outkast?
Yeah.
Hey Ya. Okay, look up the acoustic version of that song. Read the lyrics. It's not what you think it is at all. I heard that acoustic version, and I don't think I've ever almost cried over a song before. Like, that hit me deep in the feels, man.
Serious?
Yeah, it's not the way Outkast Andre 3000 sings it is completely different than what the actual meaning of the song is. If you listen to the lyrics, it's about two people losing love. and separating, and then someone dies over a heroin overdose. So it's like, it's
Well, you're
freaking.
not. No, I've ruined that song now.
I was listening to it. I was like, oh my God. Like, I saw the acoustic version of it and hearing it. I'm like, whoa. Like, you ever, I had a buddy whose mom ended up ending her own life. She was schizophrenic, and it was a sad experience. But there's a song that when I hear it, I think of them, and it's called So Far Away by Avenged Sevenfold. And it's about them. They lost a friend. But that's what I think is really amazing about music. And I think more people need to look into that, because it does capture emotion in such a certain way. I mean, I'll give an example, and you can give one, is Minimum Wage by The Expendables. I worked a job I hated, and, you're basically doing that in the parking lot before you go in. And you're working for minimum wage, you're about to, you're watching the clock on your phone going down before you have to get ready to get dressed to go into work. You're just dreading every second you're watching it go, and you're like, I don't want to go into work. That song hit me so deep in the feels when I heard it, dude. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm experiencing right now. What about you?
There's quite a few. One of them is a band called the Stereophonics. And there's a line in one of their songs the song starts with, ever seen a blind man cross the road trying to get to the other side? And that just, when the song starts off with that, and you think you're in for a rough ride. But it just, it makes you think, like, that's sort of like what's the word? Analogy of life. That's it. That's sort of like, a blind man just trying to cross the road, a simple task that we take for granted almost, is actually a massive challenge. And that's what it's like for us. We're just trying to cross the road with our eyes closed.
We're all puzzle pieces trying to fit into the big picture.
Yeah.
You ever feel like someone is shoving you in the wrong puzzle though? You just can't fit in that thing. You're the fucking Tetris piece that nobody wants.
Yeah, sometimes, but that's why you gotta make your own puzzle, or dismantle the puzzle and build it again. That's a shit analogy. Let me think of a better one.
That's better than the ones I've gotten before. I had an experience where I had 4 car tires blow out all in a matter of 2 weeks. Like, fucking $1,000-something worth of damage and repairs and shit. And I pull into the driveway, and there's another fucking nail in my tire. And I came inside, and I was like, fuck this. And I was like all upset, and I was looking for the advice, like, life's gonna be okay. And you know what advice I got? I got advice that said, that's life, it fucking sucks. That was not what I wanted or needed to hear at the time, and it fucking shattered my soul. So that's better than that one, I can tell you that.
I bet, but you just gotta. Well, I always say it. I just say you gotta look for the best. You gotta look for the best. And since I started doing that, I've grown a lot. As I would always be very negative. I would be the most pessimistic person you can meet. And even now, I still am. But now I do it just to annoy people. Like, if someone's really, if someone is truly happy, I will find a reason why they shouldn't be. And I'm not proud of that, but I'm trying to sort of better myself in that way.
I don't think social working is for you, if that's what's up.
No, that's a good point. Life coaching. If
little boy, your life sucks. Did you know that? Yeah. You know Santa Claus isn't real? No. Well, he isn't. It's like, fuck.
Really, it's good for my business. Build people up, knock them down. They got to start again. More money for me. You might want to cut that bit out in case I ever become successful.
That's some Wall Street shit. Mostly, that's how most businesses thrive. Is the fact is you're not going to get anywhere unless you're stepping on the throats of somebody else to get up top. It's the same thing podcasters kind of do in a way. What they do is they go and they follow the person and then follow all their followers and then unfollow once they've been followed back. It's like, it's so dirty. I'm like, it's just so weird to me that you would be that. It's like, follow who you want to follow. I don't ask anybody to follow me. I just ask people if they want to be a guest and talk. I think it's all about everybody's on this journey. How do you want to finish your journey when you get to the end and someone asks how you got to wherever you got to? Do you want to say you did it the right way, or do you want to say you did it the cheat way or the way everyone does it by stepping on the throats of somebody and being completely insensitive to somebody's feelings. And I'm like, that's how a business thrives in this world. And I think that's where we need to shift it. Why can't somebody who does everything the right way, does it in an amazing way? Why does it take so damn long to get somewhere?
Yeah, it's true. Like for me, I read a quote in this book and it stayed with me. And it's just, he said, I just want to look back and know I did the best I could with what I had, with what I've been given. And for me, at the end, wherever the end is or whenever it is, if I can look back and know that, yeah, I did the best with what I was given. I did the best with what I had, the best with what I made for myself, then I'll be happy. If I was the best version of myself and didn't hold back, then yeah.
Thought you were going to say something like, I read the ice cream instruction manual and it told me that the ice cream machine is broken. The best motivational poster I think I've ever probably seen is, I used to have this one in my 6th grade class right above my desk, and it was Yoda, and it said, do or do not, there is no try. And I think that was the one that hit me the most. I was like, that's fucking true. When you say, I'll do that later or I'll try, there's no try. You're only doing it or you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why when people say, I'll try cocaine, no, you're not. You do it. You snort it like the salt on the McDonald's table. That's motivation for you. Imagine if a fortune cookie told you to go smoke crack. You do it. You do it.
Would you?
If it was phrased right, probably. They say some amazing shit that hits you right in the feels. It's like a horoscope. Like, you'll be experiencing a day with sunshine. It's like it's raining out, but you'll feel clouded and you won't be able to see the sun. It's like you're changing your descriptions now. Like that's what it is. But I mean, first of all, I think it's important what you're doing. With your podcast for sure. And I know the beginning kind of sounded like I was saying, oh, don't chase your dream, but do it, dude. You just gotta have you just gotta have the mindset to stay in the game. You're gonna have your hard days. You're gonna have your, the days where it's gonna be like, I don't really feel like doing this, but don't give it up, man. Do it because you love it. Don't do it because you want to make it a job.
Yeah, exactly. That's quite a bit of advice. Thank you. I've always said the minute I start enjoying it, I will stop doing it. Because I do it, but I enjoy it. And whether that's in a couple of months, a couple of years, whatever, the minute I stop enjoying it and it becomes sort of I don't mean when you have a day when you don't feel motivated, because you always have negative thoughts and I think, oh, what's the point or whatever. But when it actually starts becoming fun and I don't enjoy what I do, I don't enjoy the interviews and stuff like that, then I'll stop. But that's not fair on me, not fair on my listeners, not fair on the guests. And that's just me, really. And, I'll hopefully get my university degree, because that's what I want. It's just a little checklist for me. I want to get a degree. I want to see what I can do with my podcast. I want to do this and that. And it's just working towards all these mini goals, really.
It's jumping through the hoops, just like we're all doing in life. But at least at least you figure out what you want. You know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing, because a lot of people spend their days trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah, well, you say that, but yeah, I still don't know exactly what I want to do. I want my degree in counselling and mental health, which, yeah, then I will maybe become like a official counsellor. I've done a bit of mentoring.
Offer from Bill Gates to be his therapist, and next thing you know, you're making billions.
True. So it's always
I sit outside their house to try and get that going. Be like, hey, you guys have any new app ideas I can hop in on? Elon Musk was like,
pay me to leave.
I'm building a flamethrower. It's like, all right, Elon, how about something that's actually going to benefit society, like maybe a fungus that can actually eat up the oil in the ocean so we can actually stop pollution? Is that a good idea? Maybe, but I feel like space is our avenue right now. It's like,
yeah.
Save the earth, damn it. Save the whales. Save the seals. I watched a video of one getting clubbed the other day. That wasn't fun.
Ah, that's sad.
I watched the whole fucking video, too.
I can't watch. I saw that.
About 5 minutes in, I paused it to go get something to eat, and then I came back, and I was like, oh, shit, I still have 2 minutes left.
Ah, lovely. I've seen some dodgy videos like that of like just animal sacrifices in like Cambodia and Africa. Not like I've searched. I mean, like living on documentaries. Jeez, I don't just
In the
spend my
name
night
of the
searching it.
Father, just
Yeah,
starts
I don't just
stabbing a
spend my. It
seal.
was actually on a documentary. Let me get that out there. I don't just search. Oh, animal sacrifices tonight.
All right. You said documentary. I almost did my UK impression where I was going to be like, here we have a baby seal. And as he's slowly eating and devouring the other baby seal, because this is what we call cannibalism.
Where are you from?
That's my documentary voice. There's always like an English guy that's always doing it because they sound better. Or it's the guy that says his R's as W's. It's an island filled with rubbish. It's like, oh, they got you to do a speaking job. That's fucking weird.
Questionable accent. Sound a bit more. You got like an Irish twang rather than English, but
I love
I don't know.
Irish.
I don't know if you planned on that. Just a twang, like not. It sounds like half British with a bit of an Irish twang. Is my expert.
I'm not master of accents. I'm master of impressions.
Are you?
Yes.
Demonstrate.
Just take my word for it. Don't ask me to do any. Look, I think I've wasted enough of your time there, brother. I want you to be able to promote your podcast, promote any links that you want to promote, just so people can find your content. I'll make sure I link it in the description as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So my podcast is called The Schofield Stories. I'm on Google, Apple, Spotify, Acast, iHeartRadio, I think. I'm on a lot of different platforms.
Just Google the name.
Yeah, just Google it. Or just look on my website, which is thescofieldstories.com. And that's where you'll find the podcast, a bit more about me, a bit more about the show, and a bit more about some other things that I've forgotten. Ironically, I can't remember what's on my own website. But yeah, just have a look at my website, Schofield.com. You're from different people's, yeah. I look forward to it. And 12th of July, launch every Sunday, new episodes.
Well, there we go. Now, how do you want to wrap up the episode? How would you end it, I would say?
How would I end? Well, thank you for inviting me on. I've enjoyed it. The first time I've done a unscripted conversational style podcast, and fair play, I've really enjoyed it. I know you don't like compliments, but you're a great host. You're really great.
This is all getting cut out. I always cut out the compliments. You should have been like, our ice cream machine's broken, or actually now it's fixed and you all can enjoy a nice thing of soft serve.